Alright, Cancer, hello and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. If you're already familiar with this space, then you already know what to expect, so come on into the room. So glad to be interacting with your energy again. But if you are new to this channel, then please come in. We're here to embrace you with love and acceptance. Feel free to come in as you are, wherever you are energetically, be it positive, negative, or neutral. It really doesn't matter, so long as you leave better than you came. I do have to also give the disclaimer of a trigger warning. I can trigger you, so just be very careful that you are actually prepared for what may come through in this general reading. Keep in mind though, for the newbies, this is a general reading, so only take what really applies to you, if it does at all. If not, just wait until the next cycle of videos come out, okay? But what you guys have as the overlying energy is the Seven of Wands. This is really competitive energy, and I know this is what some of you guys are going through in a certain relationship, be it romantic, be it a platonic friendship that you have with somebody, be it professionally, at work. It can also be a relationship that you have with yourself and how chaotic it may be. The Cruise that hounds you, if I didn't already show you guys, is the Nine of Swords, which, funny enough, as I was shuffling your cards and I was splitting the deck, the Nine of Swords flipped out, right? It was like in the very center of my table, and I'm like, okay, that's very strange, but it came back out, so something's happening here, you guys. Ooh, where you need, or sorry, what's real about the situation? You have the Seven of Swords. What's wrong about the situation? You guys have the Page of Swords. Where you need more information, you have the Five of Swords, and then where you end up, you have the Knight of Swords. So things definitely do turn around. They do turn around, very literally. But it's not going to be without the mental effort required on your part. So this Seven of Wands is really that action-oriented energy on your mental plane, and being able to more easily disregard the empty thoughts that tend to take up a lot of your space. That's the best way that I can say it. Because I don't want to necessarily say that the things that you guys think on or ruminate on that's coming through a lot are negative, but it's like it's not actually happening in your immediate environment, so it kind of like defeats the purpose of even thinking about them, you know? Say you guys are single, right? And you go on this date and you meet this nice attractive person, guy, girl, non-binary, it doesn't even matter. You meet someone and you hit it off with this Seven of Wands energy. You feel like there is equal amounts of chemistry. Maybe one of you guys is a better flirt, or one of you guys are just quicker with like the banter back and forth, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's striking, it's intriguing at the very least. And it's like, okay, the night ends well, but they don't give you a kiss goodnight and they leave. And now when you're standing by your lonesome, you're just like, oh my God, like, did I do enough? Did I say something that made them not want to kiss me? You know, like, did I not really look my best? Was I just making this all up in my head? You know, do I like this person more than they like me? Like, why didn't they kiss me? Did my breath stink? It's like you're coming up with all of these different scenarios that may not be the case. That person very well could have just wanted to be respectful because they go and live by different principles than you do. Maybe that's one of their things, like, I just don't kiss on the first date. But it's really hard when you're in that type of situation that tends to go so fast, right? Time does go by quickly. So it's kind of like you're on this hour interview and you just want to make sure that you put your best foot forward, but there's no way in hell you can tell somebody your life story and then really get it and understand you in an hour, you know? That's something that just takes time. And so questions that you think of maybe at a later time, or comebacks that you think of maybe at a later time after you get into a confrontation with somebody, like, they're nice to know by way of you being able to stretch your imagination in that way to come up with something else that you wish you would have said, but you've said enough, you know? And permitted there is enough chemistry there, you will get a call from that person. Or maybe if you don't hear from them from a few days, because maybe again they have different principles. They have like a 3-day rule where they won't text because they don't want to come off as like thirsty or desperate. with that Seven of Wands energy, or maybe this is you and you guys stepping out in the dating field, right, as an example. And it's like, okay, well, dang, maybe that person isn't into me, but just give it some time. And maybe after 3 days, if that's your maximum, how long you can go without getting any sort of feedback, just reach out and be like, hey, you know, I had a really nice time. I thought you did too. I was just checking in to see, like, maybe if you wanted to grab drinks again this weekend on X date, you know. Just don't be afraid with that Seven of Wands energy to put yourself out there, because the worst response that you can get back, really, in my opinion, is no response. With all the Swords energy, like that ghosting energy, it's not the best. And I've done this. I'm guilty of it. Maybe some of you guys, that's what you're thinking about. You're guilty of it. Maybe you guys, you have such a terrible temper that the smallest thing can tick you off, and then you're turned off. You know what I mean? And if you've been in a texting relationship, because, you know, Swords and that air energy, they tend to rule the technological fields, right? Because for Gemini, for instance, is ruled by Mercury. So it's, if you guys have like a texting relationship, then it's a lot easier for you to just decide, like, you know what, I'm just not even gonna give this person the time of day anymore. They've annoyed me, they've pissed me off, X, Y, and Z, whatever. You give the silent treatment, like, that's terrible. So don't be afraid to, like, get those reasonings and or explanations should you feel that you need them in order to move forward. Wherever you feel stuck, or whatever is posing a conflict or a threat to your security, because that's the worst thing that anybody can do to a Cancer, is make them feel like they are threatened. Because what do? You retract into your shell. You become super defensive, and sometimes that defensive energy can become an outrage of sorts, right? Where you're like screaming at people, or you just tend to like use very nasty language or words to try to like cut people down once you feel hurt, because that's your way of protecting yourself, right? So some of you guys can be looking at it from that way. But in order to turn the situation around, it's having the belief that you can do it, or again, just not paying more negative things any mind, like, because you already have a solution to the problem. And that's what you have to look at, because the Five of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. So this is learning conflict resolution. Things change rapidly, feelings change, moods change, much as the weather does every day. No 2 days are the same in temperature. You know what I mean? So you have to expect that also out of people and certain behaviors that they can exhibit. That again may be like a turn off to you, or it's just unusual, odd, if you will, because the number 5 is an odd number. Somebody that you find strange, or you feel like that's how they perceive you to be. Just give it enough time. But again, like, okay, in this situation, I'm gonna give them 3 days. If they don't respond, I'm gonna send a message. And if I don't get anything, then that is a response, right? They're just not interested. No reason to hang on to it, you know? A closed mouth does not get fed. That's what I heard, and that might be my title for this video. So just keep that in mind. With the job, or any other relationship that you can have that could be more platonic, it's having to watch for reasons why you feel you have to compete with them, because friends and or jobs and people that you maybe work really closely alongside, you shouldn't have to feel like you're always in competition with them. It should be supportive energy. You should feel empowered when you are sharing space with them and having conversations with them. No, you're not going to get along with everybody, and that also came up in Leo's reading, so definitely check that out. That placement can be activated, so always watch all the videos I upload. But that's the thing, you just will not be able to make everybody happy. But don't be trying to, is it suckle up, suck up to? Don't be trying to suck up to those that you know are kind of like nice nasty with you anyway. Like, they'll smile in your face, but they'll be quick to talk about you behind your back, or they'll be quick to go do something that they told you not to do, but simply because they wanted to take advantage, you know, take your idea or whatever, make it seem like they were the originals and they did it first. Like, that's not who you need to be giving your energy to or trying to prove a point to in any way, shape, or form here, because that's, again, it's not going to get you anywhere with this Swords energy being in reverse. That's what's real about it. Go and be embraced by those that can really, they're not afraid to tell you where you've gone wrong, and that's how you know that you found people that you truly can trust and that you can build or establish some sort of relationship with, again, on a personal level or like with friends here. But people that will like sit you down and be like, hey, I don't agree with what this person did, but let's look at it, right? I don't agree with what your coworker Alicia said, or what your boss Jeff said, or what your boss Jeff did. Whatever could have happened, again, just in any area of your life. But at the same time, I want you to see, like, here, this is what I observed that you also did to further provoke or instigate the situation, and so that's why it feels as bad as it does, or it seems with the Swords energy to be as bad as it does here. It's like, I got to call you out, right? Knowing where to call you out and where to provide some sort of critique. But with this Swords energy, that's what it is. It's tactful and diplomatic critique, like constructive criticism, more than it is like just a snarky comment. So that's the difference there. Whenever you're getting advice from somebody, make sure that there are some insights that they come with, you know, and that they give you some sort of direction for where to go or how to improve when you're looking at those relationships. Or again, people that will have your back when you need it. Say like you're getting cornered by people, or there are some people that are just trying to attack you, and it's like, what did I ever do to these people for them to feel this way about me, yada yada, you know what I mean, to be talking about me or treating me so mean or trying to fight me all the time if you're in school. Like what is with all this jealous, catty, envious energy? That's what comes through with the Wands energy. Like, it's really not necessary. Then just look for those people that actually will back you up and that will come to defend you should you need it. Like, look for those people that will also stick up for you if you're outnumbered. Some of you guys, you're just needing to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more organized in your thought and in your just like overall space. That needs to be more organized, because that can be very cluttered, and then it makes it seem like you have oh so much to do. You can start feeling a lot of pressure if your space is not as organized, because then it's going to take you twice as long to find whatever it is that you're actually looking for. You could have just lost your stuff altogether, so now what? You have to start over. Like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Don't stress yourself out. So carry a USB cord. Just be very, very careful with what it is that you say at this time to certain people, because I know that there are some energies that are lingering that are causing people to just naturally wake up a little bit more on edge. And so if you know that you don't want to get into a screaming match with somebody, then just don't even say anything at all if it's not going to be nice. If you don't have a plan in your head for how you want to relay the message and make sure that they understand that you're coming from a good place. Okay? So there we go with that. As far as relationship, I don't see a lot of love here, unless it's just people that again are jealous of your relationship and the happiness that you have, and now maybe you're starting to feel a little bit guilty about the cards that you've been dealt. But at the end of the day, as what came up in Leo's reading, some people are just anointed and some people are just blessed to have good things in their life, but also it comes down to the vibration that they carry and the way that they think of themselves, how highly they think of themselves. Here, see these opportunities as something that you can properly take advantage of, to seize and or take out of all of the knowledge and wisdom and skills that you'll need in order to integrate into your future here, and what it is that you plan to do for your future here, and not as something for you to get into and then get comfortable with and or then start to hate and make it seem like you're just living or having the worst life ever. You hate it because you've been there 7 years longer than you were supposed to. You were supposed to learn one skill set and be able to go on to the next phase of your life, right? You could have been graduated. Hey, take that as a positive omen. But that's what I have for you, Cancers, here. If this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family, subscribe if you haven't, and book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and your soul until you hear from me again. Ciao.